Breaking news. IPOB calls for investigation of extrajudicial killings in Orsu, identifies those responsible. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people, lots of freedom all over the world. Wherever you're joining us from today, you're highly welcome to this wonderful YouTube platform that gives you all the quality news and information on everything happening in Biafran territory. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification, and you will be notified. The news in detail. The indigenous people of Biafra IPOB made the call while linking the murderous activities in the Mother Valley camp in Orsu to the Biafran Liberation Army and not the Eastern Security Network (ESN). The indigenous people of Biafra IPOB on Friday demanded an investigation into the extrajudicial killings in Orsu local government area of Imo State. IPOB made the call while linking the murderous activity in the Mother Valley camp in Orsu to the Biafran Liberation Army and not the Eastern Security Network (ESN). Emma Powerful, the spokesman of IPOB, commended the intervention that would help to dislodge the criminals in Orsu community after they had wreaked havoc and left the communities in ruin for over 3 years. In a statement he signed, Powerful alleged that the Biafran Liberation Army was commanded to destabilize the southeast using the illegal detention of the indigenous people of Biafran leader Nnamdi Kanu as an excuse. According to Emma Powerful, the global family and movement of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB worldwide, calls for an independent investigation into Orsu extrajudicial killings and what happened in Orsu. We commend the security forces and vigilantes for dislodging the criminals inside the Mother Valley camp in Orsu local government area of Imo State, no matter what proposed. More so, we commend the gallant men of the Eastern Security Network who frustrated the plans of the state-sponsored criminals in order not to destabilize the entire eastern region. Emma Powerful, in his words, said, "It is a known fact that the barbarian who branded themselves as Biafran Liberation Army under the command of the chief impersonator infiltrator Buffon is currently facing terrorism charges in Finland, were recruited and armed by the Nigerian state to impersonate IPOB and Eastern Security Network." I'm gonna stop this video here, actually, this news here, because I think Emma Powerful has actually proven himself to be one of the major problems that we're facing in this so-called Biafran freedom that we're fighting for, because the so-called DOS who claim that Simon Ekpa is their problem is the major reason why we've continued to have lukewarmness in the struggle, because they have used propaganda, they have used their jealousy and hatred, for Simon Ekpa and Joku to stop the flow of the freedom. Simon Ekpa and Joku, under few years was able to achieve a lot. And that was their major anger. Like, how is this guy able to be this powerful in few years? And it is very simple. I've said this 10 times without number. Biafrans knows themselves. Biafra knows the people who are really fighting for them, and those who are doing it with all their heart. The biggest problem with this current DOS is that they don't have shame. You're fighting the Biafran Liberation Army, and you're calling them out of being responsible in the thing that is happening in Orsu. But you people were there initially calling out the terrorist army concerning the pines we were seeing in Biafran land, especially in Orsu. We saw the videos of what happened in Orsu. People were crying. People were massacred by this terrorist army and the so-called Fulani herdsmen. But it is the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa and Joko that is the problem. And we want to move forward. It is high time that DUS start telling themselves the truth. They've lost followership. They've lost, the trust of Biafrans. And that is why they are not moving forward. It is high time they start speaking out and start telling themselves the truth. It is high time they leave the Biafran Defense Forces. It is high time they leave Simon Ekpa and Joko. And whatever you people feel he's facing, let him face it. But one thing we are sure is that at least Finland came out and said that the arrest of the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa and Joko has no business with terrorism. They clarified it. And in less than due time, we will tell the world and remind them those things that they said against the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoko. Now let us go into other issues, because a critical video is trending. A message, a very important message of the Tongazio Arabese is actually trending now.
I have some properties where I'm developing now, and I know that it has been said that when Biafra comes to full functional, that there will be a sewage system. So my question is, some of us who are developing their properties now, is there any plan or instruction that will be given to us to include in the building now, so that when that system come to functional, that we can just connect to it and everything will be synchronized? Thank you. That's my question.
Good question.
Honorable Anna, go ahead. Reverend Anene, Building Secretary, Urban and Housing, can you go ahead?
Is he here?
Is he still here?
I don't see him.
Okay, so Honorable Anene will be the best person to answer that question, the Secretary for Urban and Housing. And then we can wait for him to come back. And then Sylvester, you can ask that question again. Thank you so much. We'll go ahead to the next person.
Ugo 247, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was having issue with that. Please, I have a question in collaboration with the question the last speaker just asked. I'm going to make it more specific. For example, we are all trying to start starting our investment. Let's say you want to invest in the healthcare system, you want to start building your clinic or anything like that. Does the USB have like a requirement for what we need? Because we don't want to, some of us want to start now. Or do we have to wait till maybe next year? But if we want to start now, does the USB have like a standard so that we know, so we can build it to that standard, make sure we build it to the requirement? of the, you know, like here now in the state, you can't just open any kind of clinic. It must be up to standard. Is there a way for us who want to start the investment or things like that to go so that when we build it, it will be up to standard, so we don't have to start reconstructing or anything like that? That's one question. And then I have another question is to the Anyoma governor. I want to know if he's here to be able to tell us how we can know what his projects are so that we can see how we can support and contribute in any project they have at hand at this time. And finally, please, we are a nation now, but we have come to realize that most of these people are using, this is for the defense now, are using these men on ground to dupe our people and request for sympathy. So we are a nation, and we don't we require a disciplined and presentable defense force, and we want to know what is the defense going to do to curb this issue of men on ground, everybody trying to have their own men on ground, because we don't, our military, our defense should be well respected, and we don't want what they are going to do to make sure that we curb all these excesses of using this word men on ground to deceive our people, but so that we can uphold a one front defense force for the United States of Biafra. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to ask this question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is defense, can you go ahead?
Thank you, DPM. So, yeah, to the lady that just asked the question, we are creating discipline within our ranks, our men on ground. I mean, I know you hear some of this on the media that unknown gunmen are doing this or that. That's not our men. That's not Biafra Liberation Army personnel that is doing that. We have a lot of things. I mean, if you look closely to some of the things happening right now, we have all these herdsmen working in conjunction with the police, also robbing our men and people on the ground on the roads. So we do have all those things being done, and then they claim that they are Biafran Liberation Army. So that's not true. We're not doing that. And if you find out any of us that does that, that person is kicked out. We don't need any of that kind of person in our midst as defending the Biafra land. So we are working closely with our men to make sure that none of these things that you're hearing on the media are happening within our ranks. We do not condone anybody, robbing anybody, kidnapping anyone, civilians. We do not do that. So those are not our men, please. I just want Biafrans to know that there's a lot of things happening right on the ground with the herdsmen, with the police themselves, even robbing as well. Of course, we have all this Ebubago personnel. We have those Udogachi people, militaries from outside the Kuba. Everyone, there's a lot of folks, really, bad folks, doing a lot of things in Biafra land, and they claim that it's our men. It's not our men at all. And we are monitoring our men. If we find out any of them committing such crime, they will be out. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Defense Secretary. In addition to what you just clarified to the person that asked the last question, it will be of good to note to Biafrans that we are building a nation that will be the envy of the world. The United States of Biafra is going to be the envy of the world. Already the standards, our military, the standards, Biafrans, the standards, the governors, their executives are maintaining at this point. I can tell you it is unimaginable, very, very high standard. And it's because we are coming out from a country that never appreciates standards. We are coming out from a country where elections are held and somebody carries the ballot boxes and runs away, goes into the bush, exchanges the voting cards, and brings it out. And the Supreme Court justifies that by putting the individual that did this either as a governor of a state. We are coming out from a country that practices two laws, the Sharia in the north and the secular law in the south. One country, two laws. If you are a Christian born in the northern part of Nigeria, they force you to practice Sharia law. If you don't do that, they will stone you to death. Example is Deborah, who was a Christian living in the northern part of Nigeria with a family, but was stoned to death. We are coming out from a country that boasts to produce natural resources, oil, but you rarely have electricity in the country. Sometimes the electricity goes and people don't have light for days. Yes, I will continue to use Deborah as an example because it's important for the world to know that if you are a Christian and you are born in the northern part of Nigeria, President Tinubu makes you to practice Sharia law. If you don't do that, they will kill you. The same thing that happened in the southern part of Nigeria. They send their Fulani terrorists to invade our farms, destroy our farms, give them AK-47 to kill our people. That is what the Nigerian state does. So we are coming out from a state, from a country that practices those things, to a nation that you will not see any of those things at all. We have the Ebubeago that are killing innocent Biafrans. We have the Operation Udogachi, established by the legitimized Southeast and South-South governors, whom they signed into Biafra land to kill us. They burn our homes. They kill our people just for them to remain in power. But thank God, not anymore. They are delegitimized. And they are currently, any Nigerian politician in Biafra land today, or Nigerian security in Biafra land today, you are occupying a foreign land. We told you to leave. You are required to leave immediately. We have the Fulani headsmen that are being sent by the Nigerian terrorist state to kill our people. And they are supported by these delegitimized Southeast and South-South governors who are Biafrans working for the Nigerian state. Yep. Then we have the special squads. These special squads that are sent by Nigerian Defense Chief Christopher Musa that kill unarmed innocent Biafrans that are marching for their freedom, for self-determination. They shoot them in close range. All of us remember the Aba massacre. They were killed, innocent Biafrans. We all remember the invasion of our leader Nnamdi Kanu's home by the Nigerian state, where over 30 innocent Biafrans, unarmed, were murdered by the Nigerian state just because they assembled in our leader Nnamdi Kanu's house just to support the self-determination process. They were killed for nothing. Till date, Nigerian state has not given any accountability or compensated the families of those innocent Biafrans that were killed. Actually, we don't need no compensation because there was just no reason for that killing. So these are the kind of government, the kind of headsmen, the kind of leadership we do not want in Biafra territory. And as we speak, do not be deceived. There are still some Biafrans being used by the Nigerian state to stop the final push for the restoration of the United States of Biafra. They are doing that, using some that claim they are following our leader Nnamdi Kanu, that claim they were following our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. They are the ones they are using. Because without the insider operation, without the legitimized governance operation, the terrorists will have no power over Biafrans. We are a formidable people. Our people are the most resilient in the world. One of the most. So we are moving away from that state. So when you see some Biafrans that are still doing the same thing, having the same behavior that these terrorists are exhibiting in Biafra land, do not be deceived. Do not be carried away. Just know that at the end, the power of the people must prevail. We must defend ourselves from any invaders into our land. I just want to add that. On the project of the health department, the question that was asked, yes, we have rules that guide healthcare facility establishment in Biafra land. On the Anioma project, I don't know if the Anioma state of Anioma governor is here or any of the executives to take that question. But again, we have our fundraisings every week for humanitarian purposes, to build our land, the United States of Biafra, to rebuild the homes that were destroyed and are still being destroyed by the Nigerian state, to take care of our widows that were killed, whose wives were killed by the Nigerian state, and also to build our nation. That is what we raise funds to do, to build our nation from the devastation of the criminal state of Nigeria. And we will continue to do that. So that is why part of the Anioma project is the fundraisings we do every weekend to help protect our land. There is nothing wrong we are doing. We are raising money. United States of Biafra is a nation. We've declared our independence. The United States of Biafra is registered by the DOJ as a nation. We are no longer resistant fighters. We are a nation. And we will continue to build our nation, just like America left Europe to go and settle and build America. Just as Finland had their independence and started building their nation. That is what Biafrans are exactly doing. Thank you so much.
I just have one small thing to add there for Happy Ume. I'm going to send the Anioma governor information to your admin, and then she will forward it to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next person, please. And let's make our questions very brief because, I mean, we have so many hands and we can only take so much. And hopefully we'll be rounding up in the next 15 to 30 minutes. Honorable, go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, Biafrans. Mazu go 247. Am I coming out?
Yes, you are.
Good evening, Biafrans. Good evening, my DPM, Dr. Ngozi Orabweze. Good evening, Mazi Ugo 247. Good evening, all the cabinet members in the house. This is Emeka Ghana speaking. Before I ask my question, my DPM, please, it's not every question you must answer, because almost
Yeah,
some of the questions,
I understand, Emeka. I
some of
understand.
the
Emeka,
questions they
just
are
go ahead
asking you
and
here.
if you have any question, don't worry
Okay.
about.
Some
Yeah,
of the
that's why we
questions they are
organize
asking
this
you
session.
here. Some of the questions they are asking you here, our PM, Mazi Simon Eber, have addressed all that before.
Yeah, just go ahead. Don't worry about the questions. That's why we are a government. Yeah, we will continue to enlighten people, even though they pretend not to know, or even though they know the answer, but the session is what it is. It's question and comments. Go ahead. So
Okay. My dear DPM, thank you for your good work you are doing and your cabinet, to make sure that this movement keep going on in the right direction. Now, my question is, there is this gossip and the blackmailing, name calling going on social media. I mean, people calling you Ngozi or Rabu Fulani. Number one question is, please, your both parents. I want you to just clear all the Biafrans. Your both parents is any of them come from Fulani breed or Fulani blood? That's my first question. Your both parents, your mom and your dad, did any of them come from Fulani breed or Fulani type? That's my first question.
Again, the answer is no. And again,
thank you.
Again, when you're a public figure, again, I look at some of these things from the aspect of a leader. And again, I want Biafrans to know, as a leader, people can say things, people can lie against you. And we are bringing to Biafra a country where there is freedom of speech. But what we encourage Biafrans, as genuine Biafrans, part of our code of conduct is to be able to ensure that we minimize lies to our people. Just as some of us live in developed countries in the world, we already understand when people misinform the public and the dangers of such lies. But as a public figure, those things are expected.
So my
answer to that, no.
What you are telling Biafrans right now is that your both parents has nothing to do with the Fulani blood, right?
None.
Thank you for that clearance. My next question is, please, our PM, is there anything USB government is doing for Finland government to know that this is our PM and he's innocent? Is there anything USB is doing towards that? Please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Finland knows that our PM is innocent. They know. The world knows that our PM is innocent, that our leader Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. So, like I said earlier, the process that Finland is using on our prime minister, we are watching them.
Okay.
We've done everything we need to do as a nation, as a people, whom the prime minister is our leader, to be able to ensure that the victimization going on by Finland, by colluding with Nigeria, to stop or tamper with the United States of Biafra as a sovereign nation. We will continue to do that. So we are watching to see how this is going to end up. But as far as the other things that are being done behind the scene, Those are not some of the things we have to bring up publicly. But yes, the government is doing everything possible to ensure that our leaders, both our leader Nnamdi Kanu, our Prime Minister, is free from the collusion of the terrorist state of Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. My last question, please, my DPM. My last question is, I think our defense minister is in the right position to answer this question. Our men on ground, first we've been hearing during the time of our PM, we've been hearing Musa crying. So now, this very question goes to our defense minister. Please, why is Musa no more crying? Why is everywhere quiet? Is USB in good terms with men on the ground? Please.
Yeah, thank you for the question.